Hello, I'm Vicky. Thank you so much for choosing to practice with me today and for checking out my Feather and Flow Yoga YouTube channel. This class that I'm bringing to you today is a yin yoga sequence, really targeting the shoulders, the back, and opening the chest. Now, yin, if you're new to yin, is a much more balancing style to your yang practice. So by yang, I mean any kind of active exercise, whether it's vinyasa yoga, hot yoga, there's more active power yoga classes, or even other exercise forms like running, cycling, anything that really brings a bit of heat and fire to the body. Yin is your balancing practice to that. So we're really going to slow things down. We're going to only include a few poses per class, and each one will be held for about 3 minutes. So it really allows us to slow things down, to be still, and to target those deeper connective tissues, the muscle fascias, the ligaments, even the joints. In doing so, we can release more tension, more tightness, we can improve flexibility, mobility. So it's very good, it's a very good balancing practice to include in your overall exercise regime. So today I'm going to be using 2 yoga blocks for this practice. That's all you will need. If you don't have blocks, you can substitute them for other similar things that you may find around the house, maybe a thick book, even a rolled up blanket or 2. Talking about rolled up blankets, you may wish to have one of those nearby just in case your knees get sore in any of the kneeling poses. So I'll let you know if that would be useful as we move through the practice. So let's get started today with the blocks at the top of your mat about shoulder distance apart. We're going to come into a child's pose. So come to kneel on your mat. So this may be one of the poses where it would feel good to have a rolled up blanket under your knees or even underneath the tops of the feet. And then from here, begin to walk your palms out in front of you. You're going to rest your hands on top of the blocks whilst you're in child's pose. So then slowly ease your upper body down, bringing your heart down towards the mat and your forehead to rest. And begin to witness the breath, just observing it, not trying to change anything at all, just becoming aware as you ease into the practice. Centering yourself, becoming present in your body here on your mat. Breathing into the underarms, to the back of the shoulders, the upper back, the middle back, the low back. And as you exhale, see if you can just find a sense of letting go, releasing. Maybe you notice that as you bring your awareness to the breath, the mind tends to just quieten down. Your thoughts take a back seat. And see if you can allow yourself to just continue with this present time throughout the practice. So if you find that thoughts keep coming, that's okay, but just see if you can keep averting your attention back to the breath, bringing it back to this moment here. And when you're ready, begin to lift the head, bring the palms down to the mat and slowly walk yourself back to a seated position. And in between each pose, we'll take a little rebound pose, so a little counter pose to allow your body's time to just to neutralize and reset before we move into the next shape. So for this one, we're going to bring our hands to interlace behind the back, roll your shoulders back, lift your heart, and you can choose to stay right here if this feels good, or maybe it feels good to begin to move the palms away from the low back. Breathing into that heart center, gazing up about 45 degrees, noticing how this feels. And gently release. From here, come to all fours on your mat and bring your block so that one block is in a sideways on position just underneath your head, and the other block is out to the right, out in front of you. So just as long as you can grab it with that right hand. As you inhale, lift your left arm high, look up at the thumb. And as you exhale, thread the needle. So you're bringing your left shoulder down to the mat, and then you're going to rest your left temple on the first block. Then from here, slide your right hand out to rest on top of the second block. So take your time settling in. In Yin Yoga, we like to be as still as we can. But first of all, just really allow yourself time to find your edge. So somewhere that you can stay still. You may find after around 30 seconds to a minute, you're able to go a little deeper in some shapes. That's totally fine. Or if you ever feel that you need to back off, go ahead and do so. Just knowing that the intention is to be as still as we can while still maintaining our edge. Noticing if your mind has wandered off, and if it has, no problem. Just see if you can bring it back. Becoming aware of your breath once more, or of the physical sensations in your body. And then when you're ready, slowly bring your right hand down underneath the right shoulder. Press into that hand to lift you back to all fours. And we'll just do a little rebound here, moving through a few rounds of cat-cow. So to do that, as you inhale, lower your belly, lift your tailbone, lift your heart and look up. And then as you exhale, round the back as you tuck the tailbone and tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the tailbone, look up, and exhale round. Really push them away, give yourself lots of space. One more each way. Inhale, lower, exhale round. Coming back to your neutral tabletop position, you're just going to take hold of that top block and move it over to the left this time. As you inhale, lift your right arm, look up at the thumb, and then as you exhale, thread the needle the other way. So this time, right shoulder and right temple come down to the block. Take your time to settle in before finding that place of stillness. Maybe noticing how this side feels different from the other side. Letting wherever you are today just be enough, however you feel. And then bringing the left hand under the left shoulder, pressing into that hand to lift you back to all fours. And we'll move through cat-cow once more. So inhale, lower the belly, lift the tailbone, gently look up. And exhale, round the back. Let's do that 2 more times, linking your movement with your breath, moving nice and slowly, really feeling the movements of each vertebrae, noticing how that feels. Resetting the spine before coming back to your neutral position. So from here we won't need any blocks for the next shape, so you can just move those off to one side. And keeping your hips over your knees, begin to walk your arms forwards. We're coming into extended puppy dog pose here. So then when you get as far as you can go, begin to melt your heart down, trying to keep your hips over your knees. Maybe your forehead comes down to the mat or your chin. And breathe here. Bringing your awareness to your belly as you breathe, feeling it grow full and round with each inhale. And as you exhale, feeling your navel draw towards the spine, emptying the lungs completely. We'll be here for about 1 more minute. When you're ready, slowly make your way to lie down on your front. And bring your arms down by your sides, palms facing up. And just rest your head down. Maybe one side of the face comes down. Giving yourself a period of rest just to notice what's going on. How do you feel? And then turn the head, bring the other temple down, resting once more. And then make your way into Sphinx Pose. So Sphinx Pose has your elbows under your shoulders and your forearms parallel. Lift your heart, imagining that you're drawing your heart forward through the forearms. Gazing down at the ground, just a few feet out in front of you. So you're really seeing your neck as an extension of the spine. So you're not crunching it as you look up, you're not looking down too much, but instead just keeping the spine in one long line of extension. Notice if you're holding any tension in the face. See if you can relax your jaw, the corners of the eyes. Let them be soft. And you can choose to stay right here, or if you feel that you'd like to go a little further, you can begin to open up a little further by straightening the arms. Maybe turn the palms so that the fingers turn out to the sides, even widening your hands. It may even feel good just to widen the legs a little, coming into seal pose. Bringing your awareness back to the present moment. Observing the breath or the sensations in the body. Yin yoga and other slow yoga styles are often the hardest just because our minds tend to wander or they want something to focus on. So let them focus on the breath, on the present moment. And if you find that your mind keeps wandering off, that's perfectly normal. Just keep gently guiding it back. So we'll just be here for another 30 seconds. And slowly lower down. Take your time. And from here, stack your hands on top of one another. Elbows are bent, and bring your forehead to rest on top of your hands. And then you're going to bend your knees and just allow your feet to fall from one side to the other. Soaking up that rebound. And bringing your spine back to its neutral position. And when you're ready, slowly, taking your time, come to a seated position on your mat. In no hurry to get anywhere. And then you're going to use both blocks when you're ready to place behind you on your mat. So you're going to place them on their middle setting, like this, in the shape of a capital letter T. Like so. So one goes lengthways, one goes shortways, and then separate the two. So the top part of your letter T is kind of floating above the stick of your letter T. And then we're going to come to lie back on these. So this first block is going to rest in between the shoulder blades, and the second block is going to be supporting the base of your head. So take your time setting up for this one. Keeping a bend through the knees, slowly lower back. Easing into this shape. And then when you get there, you can choose to keep the knees bent or to straighten the legs out. And maybe even opening up the arms, bringing the palms to face up. And go ahead and close your eyes. Allow yourself just to melt onto the blocks. Bringing your awareness back to the features of the face, noticing if there's any tightness at all that you can just let go of. Softening the forehead, space between the eyebrows. Corners of the eyes, corners of the lips. Let them all be soft. Give yourself permission to relax here. If you feel like you'd like to go a little deeper, feel free to open the arms, maybe a touch more, or even drawing them closer to the body if you need to back off a little, and then find stillness once more. Maybe you become aware of how your fingers just naturally curl when the palms face up, or of the soothing sounds of your breath. Or any sensations that arise for you. And when you're ready to ease out of this shape, bring your forearms down to the mat by your sides and just use those to guide you slowly and carefully to a seated position, just enough so that you can remove the blocks out of the way, and then come to lie all the way down on your back. Extend your legs, maybe rest your hands on your belly for now, just resting here in this rebound pose. Maybe you can become aware of a tingling through the body as your energy settles. And your body returns to neutral. How do you feel? From here, slowly begin to bend the knees, bringing the feet about hip distance apart, close to the pelvis, maybe a hand's distance away from the pelvis. And then take hold of one block, placing it on its middle setting, like so. Evenly press into your feet to lift the hips, and then slide the block underneath your low back. So under the sacrum, taking a supported bridge. So this should feel really effortless. Take time just to find that sweet spot where you feel totally supported. And then bring your hands down by your sides, palms face down. And for some people it feels best to keep the knees bent. Others prefer to straighten out the legs. So just allow yourself some time to find what feels best for you here. And then, as before, see if you can find some stillness. Softly closing the eyes, allowing yourself to be in this shape with ease, letting go of any tension that's not needed. Noticing if you're holding any tightness in the shoulders and the neck. See if you can allow it to just release as you exhale. Noticing if you're gripping through the fingers or the palms, and again, just let that go. If your legs are extended out long, slowly slide the feet back to a bent, so your knees are bent and your feet are planted firmly down on the ground. And then begin to press into the soles of the feet, lifting the hips just enough to slide the block out. And then lower the hips down to your mat. Scoop the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big hug. It might even feel nice just to lift the head towards the knees. And then lower it back down. Just pausing here, noticing how it feels, finding that release through the low back. And you can stay right here, or you can begin to draw some circles with the tops of the knees. Nice, slow, steady circles. Feeling a massage on the low back. And then change direction, send your circles the other way. And finally, coming into our last shape of the practice, Shavasana. So you can choose to come into your regular Shavasana with the legs extended out long and wide, or you can take Supta Baddha Konasana. So to do that, bring your feet onto the mat with the knees bent, and then bring the soles of the feet together as your knees come out to the sides. So you might like to use your blocks here for some support, just placing the blocks under the knees. And you can choose to have your arms out by your sides with the palms facing up, or maybe resting one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Wherever you are, take a deep breath in through the nose, fill all the way up to the top. And then open the mouth, let it go with a big sigh. Feeling yourself melting into the mat, into the earth. Allowing a heaviness to just wash through your body. Giving yourself permission to totally relax. So we'll be here in our final shape for just a few minutes, and I'll let you know when the practice is complete. When you're ready, begin to invite a deeper breath into the body. Maybe you wish to wiggle your fingers and your toes, becoming aware of your surroundings once more. If you're in Supta Baddha Konasana, slowly begin to draw your knees towards one another, planting your feet down on the mat. And then everybody turning to lay onto one side, taking your time, maybe just pausing there for a moment or two. Maintaining this sensation of relaxation. And then when you're ready, slowly making your way to a seated position. You can keep the eyes closed for now. Bring your hands to heart center in prayer position. Just take a moment here to bring to mind a sense of gratitude and appreciation for the practice and for your dedication to your own well-being. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.